We saw across the board buying in pharma. Now, the report that I mentioned earlier in the conversation was that it will be the patent expiring in the US will be positive for the generic segment. But why are we seeing buying across the board in the pharma pack?
So in times of uncertainty and choppiness and volatility, Suyash, there has always been flight to safety towards pharma. And I'm sure all of us remember post a little bit of withdrawal symptoms on the pandemic front, which was an unpleasant gift from China. Uh, Pharma did hog the limelight for almost about a year and a half or maybe more. Uh, our sense is that pharma will always play or will be in the spotlight whenever we have choppiness, volatility, uncertainty. So, as a brokerage house, we like a couple of pharma names. To name maybe three or four of them, uh, Sun Pharma, Dr. Reddy's, Divi's Laboratories, and Cipla. But Suyash, the other problem with pharma is that, suddenly one fine morning you realize that, the US FDA has given out Form 483 objections in the EIR or any other red flags, and that leads to a little bit of pain spilling all over the entire pharma sector. So that's something that needs to be taken care of.
Now, Gaurang, interestingly, you were talking about US FDA. Now, there was a report also today which suggested that US FDA will step up unannounced inspection. And given that, how sensitive these pharma stocks are to US FDA inspection, whenever we hear any sort of news, the stocks react strongly. So, what do you make of this news?
I also, on the backgrounder of that, in fact, in the entire drug industry in India has come under increased scanner, not just to the US, but various other export destinations, especially in Africa as well, be it the cough syrup, be it the eye drop. On the back of such news items, I believe, how do you see the pharma industry or the pharma pack reacting?
So, Shweta and Suyash, there was a question asked to me on the pharma sector whether Indian pharmaceutical companies are getting victimized by the so-called US FDAs and other regulators in the world. The surprising part, Shweta and Suyash, is that whichever company where there is a concern, whether it is good manufacturing practices or whether it is a Form 483 or whether it is a red flag in the establishment inspection report, none of these companies have objected to it. They have accepted that yes, there were shortcomings. So what I'm trying to say is in effect that India was, is and will always remain pharmacy to the world. And when you are in the business of making either APIs, generics, or life-saving drugs, you need, and if you are competing at an international level, then you need to do your job right. And you need to take appropriate steps so that there are no concerns like this which may arise in future.